Welcome to the Musar Torah podcast for Parshas Korach. Join us as we explore the weekly Parsha, uncovering valuable insights and striving to become the best versions of ourselves through Musar teachings. This week's Parsha opens with one of the Torah's most dramatic rebellions. The very first pasuk of the Parsha reads, Vayikach Korach ben Yitzar ben Kahas ben Levi v'dasan va'ariram ben Eliav va'un ben Peles ben Reuven. And Korach, the son of Yitzar, the son of Kahas, the son of Levi, took, along with Dasan and Aviram, sons of Eliav, and On, the son of Peles, descendants of Reuven. On this pasuk, Rashi points out something striking. Korach's lineage is traced back to Levi, but not all the way back to Yaakov. Why? Because Yaakov Avinu specifically requested that his name not be associated with this dispute. Rav Yechezkel Weinfeld, shlita, asks a powerful question. Why would we have expected to see Yaakov's name mentioned here at all? Yaakov lived 4 generations before Korach. What possible connection could there be between Yaakov Avinu and a rebellion that takes place centuries after his passing? Rav Weinfeld answers that there is an intrinsic and deeply meaningful connection between the life Yaakov lived and the argument Korach was making. Yaakov Avinu embodied a singular idea. A person should not simply accept their spiritual station. By birth, Yaakov was the younger of the 2 brothers. By the natural order of things, Esav was meant to be the first. The birthright, the brachos of Yitzchak, these were supposed to belong to Esav. However, Yaakov did not simply resign himself to that reality. Through ingenuity, through striving, through effort, he rose above the place nature had assigned him. He obtained the firstborn rights. He received his father's bracha. He climbed beyond his ordained station to a higher one. Seen in this light, Korach's rebellion looks at first glance like it was cut from the same cloth. Korach looked at the existing hierarchy, Moshe as leader, Aaron as Kohen Gadol, and refused to accept it as fixed and permanent. He too was pushing beyond the place where he had been situated. He too was striving for more. This is why, according to Rav Weinfeld, we would have expected Yaakov's name to appear in Korach's lineage, because Korach seemed to be following Yaakov's path. As we know, Yaakov's name was deliberately left out. This is because, despite the surface similarities, Rav Weinfeld explains there is a fundamental difference between what Yaakov did and what Korach was after. It is the difference between ambition and abolition. Yaakov wanted to rise above his own station. He wanted a larger role for himself, a greater portion in the spiritual inheritance of his family. That desire is entirely legitimate. Striving for greatness is not only permitted, it is one of the engines of human growth. People can and should aspire to climb higher than where they begin. On the other hand, Korach wanted something categorically different. Listen to the words. V'yikahalu al Moshe v'al Aharon v'yomru alehem rav lachem ki chol ha'eda kulam kadoshim uvusochem Hashem umadua tisnasu al kahal Hashem. They gathered against Moshe and Aaron, and they said to them, "You have gone too far, for the entire congregation is holy, all of them, and Hashem is in their midst. Why do you raise yourself above the assembly of Hashem?" Korach's argument was not, "I deserve a bigger role." His argument was, no one deserves a unique role. He was not reaching for more. He was attempting to eliminate the very concept of differentiated roles in the first place. In his vision, everyone is equally holy, which means no one is distinctly appointed. No Moshe, no Aaron, no hierarchy, no unique mission. This is where Korach's argument becomes not merely wrong, but dangerous. On the surface, it sounds almost noble. Is it not a beautiful sentiment to say that every person is holy, that Hashem is present in everyone's midst, that no one should be elevated above others? The problem is that this framing, when taken to its conclusion, denies something fundamental about the human condition. Each person who enters this world does so with a unique purpose, a distinct mission, a particular role that no one else can fulfill. Our individual differences, our different temperaments, our different talents, our different places in the community are not accidents. They reflect a deliberate divine design. When we erase the concept of individual roles, we do not create equality. We create confusion. We destroy the very structure that allows a community to function. A world in which everyone insists on doing everything, or in which everyone's contribution is treated as identical. That is not a world of elevated holiness. It is a world heading toward breakdown. Only when we recognize that each person has a unique role can we live in true harmony, not despite our differences, but because of them. This week, let us sit with a question. Are there moments when we confuse these two very different impulses within our lives and within ourselves? The drive to grow, to strive, to reach for more than where we currently stand, that is a holy force. We should cultivate it. There is, however, another impulse that can disguise itself as the same thing. The discomfort we feel when we see that someone else has a role, a gift, or a position we do not. Rather than ask how we can develop our own unique contribution, we begin to question whether those distinctions should exist at all. This week, let us all try to identify one area where we are genuinely striving to grow, and one area where we may have been undermining others' roles instead of building our own. That honest distinction is itself a profound act of Musar. Korach's error teaches us something that is relevant today as it was in the wilderness. Ambition, when properly directed, is a virtue. Yaakov Avinu showed us that we need not to be limited by the situation we are born into. We can strive. We can reach. We can grow beyond what nature seems to have assigned us. However, when ambition shifts from I want to fulfill my highest potential to I want to abolish the idea that anyone has a distinct purpose, that is where growth ends and destruction begins. Our community, our families, and our own inner lives depend on each of us embracing our unique role and giving others the space to embrace theirs. Have a good Shabbos.